which relates with trade and commerce. The topic which is given to me is issues in Indian trade and commerce. I'll speak on those issues as well as whatever we can do, India as a government can do for addressing those issues. So first of all, in this session, I have two sessions to go. In first session, I'll let you know what is a current status of Indian trade and commerce related with 4 to 5 sectors in in Indian economy. The topic I'll be discussing on is more or less on trade and commerce, which relates with the GDP growth or overall growth of any country. So, if you have a look on the current status, you'll find that with the curiosity, when we look to other sites, when we look at different sites, we have new products which are launched. We ourselves use products which we never have used earlier. So some new companies, some new brands, some new products have already arrived. Common man, a citizen of India who is a consumer is ready to consume those products which are either are not manufactured in India. You can name from automobiles to pharmaceutical formulations to maybe some cosmetics, FMCG products, or any other products which are somewhat new. Their nomenclatures, their brands are somewhat new. That is one phenomenon. The second phenomena you yourself or we observe is the new addition in the existing product, new addition in the existing products of the same brand. Let's take example of Royal Enfield. Gone are the days when people would use a standard bullet vehicle or a Royal Enfield. Now has been changed. So many varieties for every demographic profile, say for age. New variants have already arrived in the market. What I want to convey in this, gentlemen, is India is at advantage now. I'll give you flip side or two sides of Indian economy. So first one, I'll address on what is that advantage we are posing to the exteriors, to the external people. The growth, I was talking about some sectors, the growth in Indian economy's GDP, not only in the terms of PT, but in terms of year-on-year growth, not in terms of foreign direct investment, foreign institutional investment, foreign portfolio investment, which has already increased considerably in the last some years. So the robust demand, some of the factors which contribute to the stark growth in the demand sector of the Indian economy is something like processed foods. The new processed foods, the processed foods in a packaged form or in a ready to get form. In metropolitan cities, people talk of Swiggy and Zomato and other platforms where they are ready to deliver within just 10 minutes. You order it, something is changing. Something has changed. Needless to say that in the software sector, India has grown exponentially. So I was talking about food processing industry. Perhaps this increase is related with the increase in the disposable income. People may not agree on this, but the disposable income has been considerably increased. Per capita income, per capita income, and other things are at growth. Now that is what the advantage India I am talking about. You'll find that there is a spending pattern which has considerably changed. Gone are the days when most of the people from the rural area were dependent on the shandies. I think weekly bazaars, the tehsil bazaars, or maybe district bazaars, the days have gone. People nowadays, though they rely on it, but there is a shift which you ourselves can see. Now, what is that shift? I myself have observed being a farmer. When I go to my village and I go to exterior of the village where there are farms, the Amazon is ready to deliver the product in the farmhouses also. So till that extent, the stretch is there. You'll find this change. You must have observed in the last 4 to 5 years, there is a considerable change which has occurred. The demand for the organic products in the market is growing and anticipated with a growth of 25.25%. I'm talking about the agricultural product. So organic products which are not contaminated with either pesticides or insecticides. Now there is a growth, and that growth is perhaps not in terms of just numbers. You'll find that the considerable growth is due to the change in the people's psychology, that now we should shift on organic food and that. So there are some opportunities for the external player. There are entry of foreign players which you have seen. So many foreign industries have entered, and there is a sustainable growth which you have seen. I can see that the August gathering are very senior people, must be the faculties of different universities or maybe different departments of the university, where I was focusing on sustainable growth of the foreign direct investment, and the foreign players in India, they are ready to invest in India. India has opened up economy with a wave that there is a favorable atmosphere, socio-economic environment, favorable economic environment, favorable growth, which and that is continuous. And that's the reason foreigners, foreign entities, or foreign players are ready to enter in India. And you will find some of the names which I just say, like Tesla. It has been recently launched in India. Some players like Volvo and others, they are already there on the Indian soil. This is about automobiles. But if you take example of other electronic parts and other maybe products, they are also available in India. It means that there is a favorable condition and due to sustainable growth for them, for the return on their investment, they are ready to enter in India. So it means the advantage India is we are able to create a favorable conditions for the growth of India. It is not just a growth of foreigners, but it is a growth of Indian economy too. Another aspect I may take, not only just food aspect, food and processed food aspect, but if there is a considerable growth in the infrastructural development and real estate, not only but even at that one level, international funds are ready to get invested into the suburbs of metropolitan cities, or maybe in Taiwan cities also. Huge colonies, huge real estate infrastructure is getting developed, and that shows the mark of development of India. Now, why this has happened? There must be some reason why it is happening. Now, that is definitely happening, perhaps due to the willingness of the government. Now, government wants to have a development in a desired way. Government come out with a policy. There are online, competent, transparent bidding systems which are created for everybody, and those bidding systems with the policy initiative, government is ready to develop the particular sector. I'll invite your attention while doing this. My first point was India is at advantage. Now that advantage is due to the policy initiatives of the government, the socio-economic, socio-cultural initiatives which are taken by the government, the infrastructural development and the policy initiative to divert the fund for the infrastructural development. Needless to say, the bridges, the pools, the dams, and the development of the land, which is outcome of the policy initiative of the government, though there is a black side, there may be some corruption and other activities which are meager and minor, but basically government want to develop it. India has advantage. I invite your attention on some of the sectors. Basically, the first of all, agriculture department. I always focus on agriculture in my teaching also. The reason being, for many years, in University of Mumbai's department, which is called as Jamnala Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, which is the Department of Management in University of Mumbai, and I'm there with this institute from 2004. And basically, for many years, I'm teaching rural marketing, which is my forte. I take keen interest in teaching and understanding the phenomena happening in the rural market. What are the new changes which have happened? Recently, the news has flashed just yesterday that Amul has already crossed the boundaries of India and it has entered into Spain and certain other nations. I believe Italy also. The Amul milk and Amul dairy products shall be available henceforth internationally, especially Spain, and they have already entered into some part of US also with the US Cooperative Federation. So milk is available in India, in US. So that is what we normally say in management term as reverse colonization. Now, reverse colonization is a terminology which is used by the economists, say in year 1990s, and from then the reverse colonization has started. Let me explain what exactly reverse colonization I'm talking about. During that phase, when we talk of liberalization, globalization, and privatization, so during that phase, just after that phase, when the income was flowing or flooding in Indian economy, some Indian companies, Indian conglomerates, were trying to go out of the boundaries of our nation. One of the first to go out of the boundaries of the nation and provide products and services was Aditya Birla Group. Then slowly, along with Aditya Birla Group, the Indian conglomerate, companies with their telephony, that Reliance, they entered into America. They are still providing the services, I believe, in Texas of US. So that is a phenomenon where Indian companies going overseas, and hence after so many companies have gone in different countries. You name Vietnam, you name China, you name the small Asian tigers and certain other European countries also. The phenomena of our Honorable Prime Minister visiting various nations is bullied by many people, especially we read those news in newspaper. But his visits to different countries has a reason. We have already understood, and Indian government have already understood that the only phenomena with which the Indian GDP and the growth of India with numbers and with not numbers can be grown, growth and development. The phenomena in economics, what we talk it as growth with numbers and development with human development index. So with Indian development with growth and numbers, to increase it, the communication with the countries, head of the countries or the decision makers of the countries is essential, and because of which perhaps the visits of Indian Premier or Indian other ministers are expected. And their visits results into our companies have entered not only with products and services, but they are providing the technological know-how, the technology to some of the countries where these countries are, either least developing countries and developing countries, especially Africa and the Gulf countries. So that is what another phenomena of development of economy. So in economy, coming back to the agricultural sector. So in agriculture, I can see on the screen there are very senior people, and I perhaps you may feel that it's quite basic. Professor Anil Pondey speaking. We all are aware of direct benefit transfer. Now that is a phenomenon which has happened with Janadhana Yojana, and Janadhana Yojana, such kind of schemes which are targeted actually to the downtrodden farmers and the peasants. It was one of the successful scheme where so many people in the millions, especially millions, were attracted in the ambit of banking system. The people, those who were not in banking system, where the money was not recorded, the money started getting recorded in such phenomena, and it is discussed not only on international platform, but dear friend, this case also has been discussed in Harvard School also. So it's a miracle. It was one of a kind of miracle where huge amount of fund was utilized, and direct benefit transfer was given to the farmer for their disposal. So this is first phenomenon I want to focus on. There were other phenomena, perhaps as you are teachers, you must be knowing that Surya Gas Yojana to Fasal Bima Yojana to other Yojana, that these are prominent. Perhaps these are heard by all of us several times, but this really made a change in the life of a farmer. I don't claim that the life of a farmer is completely changed. Perhaps no, but the small decision in the central ministry made a difference. So as to take some time, I would like to quote one incident of when I was one of the party in one panel. So one gentleman who was advisor to Prime Minister for agriculture as well as for education at a grassroots level, we come in touch with him. I come in touch with him, and when he was talking about, so there is something called as, if you know it, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. I repeat again, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Now, if you know it, that Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is unfolded and implemented, I believe, in every state of India. It must have been unfolded even in Kerala, Tamil Nadu. We have it in Maharashtra also. And Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is deliberately taken decision by the advisors and a group of ministers, especially by the Prime Minister. Reason being, they want to create the economy, develop the economy after 15 years. Or maybe looking at next time after 15 years, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan at a grassroots level has been implemented. Now, what happened with that Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan? The resultant of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is right to education. Today we talk of right to education. Every child, it is expected. I don't know whether it has been implemented for all of you. Every child of this nation, whosoever been born, he should get education. He has a right to education, and that too free education, as it is mentioned. Though the schools are charging very hefty, but right to education is the outcome of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. And you will find miraculously, when the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was implemented or started 10 to 12 years back, now those children must be in 6 to 10 standard. So children of 6 to 10 standard, if you have their intelligence, have a look on their intelligence, it has really made an impact to them. So that impact is the outcome of the decision which has been taken at a central level. There are certain schemes, PM schemes like Matsya Sampada Yojana. Then there is a budget there is a Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, which has got a huge budget of 21,900 crores. This much of fund has been allocated. If you have a look on our budget, so much of fund have been allocated to Agriculture Department. Now the question arises whether the fund and the schemes which have been taken up or which have been implemented by the government for Agriculture Department, was there fruitful? Whether the department, I'm not, see, please don't quote me wrong. I'm not with any government. I'm not of any government, and I don't want to speak against any government. Being a teacher, I want to criticize and I want to praise whether any decision taken by any government per se, any prime minister, whether it was that right decision or not. So much of fund. I'm right from Lal Killa. If you remember the first speech which was done by the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, the first speech in 2014 on the Lal Killa of Delhi, he was the first Prime Minister to talk about the toilets. He embarked on saying, or he said that we are going to build so many toilets, crores of toilets under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is still on. The outcome of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan we are not going to discuss. I'm not going to claim anything, but he had taken up that one, that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or some kind of abhiyans are really needed and really important in country like ours to change the mindset of the people. Okay. I need to discuss, I must discuss the competitive advantage. Whether do we have competitive advantage for as far as our economy is concerned? And by this time, the senior gentlemen, those who are on my screen, they themselves will say, sir, we have competitive advantage. What is that competitive advantage? A long seashore to a wonderful fertile land and various seasons in different areas, right from northeast like Sikkim to Kerala and Tamil Nadu, rainy seasons to very cold seasons. Now, this variety of it itself is a competitive advantage. Along with that, the mining ores and other things, that we have that competitive advantage. Now, what is to be built? The government has done it's judicially, not only by this government, but right from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, when he implemented 5 years planning for first time. On the basis, the 5 year planning on the basis of those who are economists here, on the basis of Mahalanobis model. There were certain other models which were suggested by M.G. Ranade, Dr. Ambedkar, Mahalanobis model on the basis of socialistic pattern of USSR, we adopted and 5 year planning was implemented. That's the history. But after that, in the 5 year planning, not only Bhakra, Nangal and other dams were built, but the IITs and IIMs, NITs were also constructed. It was a judicious decision. Right from our independence till now, the engineers, those who we could create, those who have gone overseas and filed the patents. Many engineers from India have filed the patents, and those patents are in Indian names. We are proud of them. Now, this is the outcome of judicious decisions which were taken by the parents. So we have that advantage. We have competitive advantage very recently that the food yield, we have buffer stock available in food corporation of India. We can survive at least for 2 years. Every Indian can survive at least for next 2 years. That much of food is stocked in food corporation of India. The robust and only one public distribution system, the robust and only one public distribution system of the world which provides the food to the needy, to those who are below poverty line. Dear friends, I may sound very basic. What I'm saying may be very basic, but I want to make you aware that there is a terminology, what we call it as below poverty line, are the people, those who cannot earn up to the stipulated amount, and those who cannot consume the stipulated calories of 12 calories or something. Now that is what a unit which is given. So they are the one who are below poverty line. Below poverty line, the basic characteristic is they are the sole consumer of GDP. They don't earn. The revenue generation by them is as much of bigger. It's small. They are just consumers, and the schemes are given to them. Just look at your vicinity where the free of water is given, free food through public distribution is given, something electricity or something subsidized or free is given. Now these are the people who are, we cannot just detach them from the economy. They have to be with the economy, with what we say, with what is given in the preamble of our constitution. Our constitution say brotherhood, fraternity, and other things. And that's the reason BPL, below poverty level, cannot be detached from the mainstream of the economy. So what government does is providing the schemes, and it is expected that those people who are the below poverty line should come in the mainstream of the economy. So again, those schemes are competitive advantage for us. So uh, that's about the agricultural sector. When we talk about other sector, something like, let's say example of, if you are interested in automobiles, there are plenty of sectors. I mean, 2, 3, 4 sectors which I will be focusing on. So, in case of automobiles, the latest change, latest what you must be enjoying and using your vehicle, or the electronic vehicle, what we call it as EV. If you notice the floating of EV in India, say 5 to 6 years back, when our Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who was transport minister then, he floated that policy very slowly, and a level playing field was created. Something like in telephone sector, in telecom sector, long back when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi embarked on computers, and telecommunication sector was only dominated by uh, government what do you call it, companies, BSNL and MTNL, Mahanagar Telecom and Bharat State. So level playing field for the private players with the opening up of economy was opened up. And now we can see which telephone, which wired and non-wired telephones, especially mobile phones we use. So that's a change. It looks to be very simple because we are using now the youngsters or children. When they look at that phone, when they look at the Netflix and the other things, it's not a normal phone. That phenomena has happened due to the policy implementation which has been done by the government in those years. So that's about the telephony. In case of automobile sector, if you remember, our Indian roads could fly this ambassador, Premier Padmini, the motors, Hindustan motors, especially. Gone are the days. Now we have electronic vehicles, and slowly the first overseas or the foreign vehicle which landed on Indian soil was Maruti. Some of you must be knowing it was not Maruti 800, it was Maruti Dolphin. So Dolphin was the first, and when it arrived on Indian soil, the norms were completely changed. The so-called Premier Padmini, the Hindustan Motors vehicle, or maybe Ambassador, and others, maybe other four-wheelers, they were not focusing on the per kilometer average. The new vehicles, when they landed on Indian soil, the per kilometer and the average, people were talking about the average, and there were several changes which were offered afterwards. And our indigenous players, something like Tata, collaboration with Maruti and Suzuki, made the level playing field, and with the level playing field, government allowed the foreign entities or the foreign car manufacturers to enter in India. And now we have Volvo to Tata, or maybe Tesla, or Honda, Hyundai. These all vehicles are available. It is evident. But this has not occurred all of us. You visit, especially the countries very close to India, towards southern part, Southeast Asian countries, you find that these countries are newly transforming. Something like Vietnam, where now they are constructing big roads, now they are inviting the foreign cars, now they are inviting the foreign manufacturers in their country to develop their economy. That phenomenon has started maybe 30 years back in India, 60, 70 years back in China, and that phenomenal change in those two big nations, China and India, is evident, and we are part of it. We are really fortunate that we are part of it. So India has an advantage in automobile sector. One of the best advantages is the rising middle class. in India who wish to have car outside their doors. They are willing. Now, in marketing management, when we teach marketing management at a course, dear friends, please don't quote me very basic, but marketing management needs, wants, and demand when we teach in classes. So basically, there are basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter, but that need is converted by the marketeers into wants. Today, the most of the economy, most of the citizens, most of the consumers in India, they are on the foot of wants. They have plenty of products available, variety of products available. They have disposable income to purchase and consume that product. It is converting into demand. You'll find that the demand, especially in automobile sector, is always on top of it. It may vary, it may go up and down, but the policies of it's a strategy. It's a strategy of a government to implement. I mean, to introduce a new. Sorry, once again, the strategy of the companies, automobile companies, to introduce new vehicle just after 5 to 10 years. It has its own meaning. If you imagine one vehicle, that is Innova, we have a Vista, Innova High Cross, that's the latest one. But when the Police was introduced in market, it was approved in the year 2014, Police. And then Innova started. And Innova 1, 2, 3, this kind of variant were floated in the market. The next variant was Vista and the latest. Now this is a strategic decision. Now this, because the people are ready to purchase the product. Ready to purchase the product. Apart from that, you'll find on the Indian roads, international players, international vehicles are as it is available, and there are purchasers. There are purchasers for vehicles like Tesla and the international vehicles. So increase in middle class, then increase in demand of the passenger, not only passenger vehicle, but the trucks. It increases the demand for the trucks for distribution of the product, logistics of a product. Now that is on the angle. Now the distribution and the logistics sector has considerably increased. The credit goes to the one of the Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He came up in his very short government of 14 days. Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee became Prime Minister twice. In on day, for one day Prime Minister, he could not do anything. But when he had a tenure of 13 days, he made a wonderful decision of connecting all two-tier, three-tier cities and even the villages also. Today, if you go in the villages of India, of any state, a wonderful connectivity can be seen, and that wonderful connectivity attracts the business of logistics, trucking to those destinations. With this connectivity, one wonderful role, not also by earlier government, Congress government, as well as by this government, also, the connectivity has been enhanced with the intention that the products will be available to each and every destination. That's the reason. If you understand, if you are versed with one tagline, "Thanda matlab Coca-Cola." There was a tagline, the advertisement which was given by Amir Khan, "Thanda matlab Coca-Cola," and that Coca-Cola was available at every destination, at every village shop, worth ₹5. So keeping a product worth ₹5 across India, it's really difficult. And that is perhaps due to the decisions which were taken by the government, central government as well as state government. So that I wanted to focus on the automobile sector and the transportation sector as well as road connectivity. There is one project called as Global EV project, and global EV project which was furled on or opened up for India, where with the policy in different states with different numbers. Say, for example, as I know from Maharashtra, so if we sell off a vehicle, passenger car, more than 15 years of age, we get certain credit, and that credit can be utilized for purchase of EV car. So we get that discount in purchase of such kind of initiatives have been taken by the government. Uh, It is expected that the global market of electronic vehicle, electric vehicle uh, is approximately 250 billion or more than that, and which is projected to grow 5 times every year, and it will reach up to 1,380 billion. Now, that is what a global projection. This is one thing which I want to definitely add to my talk. If you have a look on the vehicles which have already arrived in India from China, especially BYD, people say build your desire or build your dream. So BYD vehicle which has already arrived in India, EV vehicles are on the roads. In comparison with any other make of the car, the BYD car, electronic cars, are giving a mileage of approximately 1,100 to 1,200 kilometers with one single shot, as they say, as they claim, which any other vehicle in India perhaps is not able to reach beyond 300 kilometers. This is on the basis of my reading. I have never have tested, dear friends. But if such kind of vehicles are coming in India, it will change the complete industry. It will change the landscape of the economy in entirely in a different form. There is something called as shared mobility. Shared mobility. So shared mobility, which is providing opportunity not only to electronic vehicle, also some other vehicles also. I mean, there is certain changes which we are finding. Apart from Ola and Uber, what we talk and what we use and consume, there are certain other things in different states which must be coming. Very recently, I had been to Goa and I have checked that the as far as mobility is concerned, government of Goa is focusing on electronic vehicle policy, and two-wheeler shared mobility is allowed. Not only this year, this time, but it was earlier also. So that change will make a little difference in the economic landscape. In automobile sector, the foreign direct investment for year uh, in year 2000 to 2004 was approximately 36.21 billion. People overseas, or maybe conglomerates, multinational corporations from overseas are ready to invest in India in typically electronic vehicle sector, and maybe in coming years we ourselves will have a look on, many vehicles will find that the electrical vehicles will dominate this industry. This is perhaps due to the policies which are taken up by the government to reduce the emission pollutants in the environment that change vehicles. There is a policy support by the government, and government center has launched PM E-Drive scheme with a budget of 1.30 billion, that is 10,900 crores, which is effective from 2024 to 2026. So PM E-Drive scheme, which is for the electronic vehicles, electrical vehicles, and this will definitely change the landscape of it. Now, we are still in advantage India. I've taken a gist of two sectors. There are other sectors which can be, apart from agriculture and automobiles. There is another sector which I want to focus on, which I know is pharmaceutical sector, pharma industry. It is one of the biggest sector, and it has shown a considerable growth in last few decades. Now, it is obvious a country with a vast population, definitely needs medical aid, uh, robust medical industry and robust pharmaceutical industry. The indigenous players in industry are prominently manufacturing the molecules which are consumed in it. Please focus on my point, gentlemen. There are two types of manufacturers. One are 100% equity holding of foreigners, joint equity holding of foreigners and Indians, and the generic manufacturers and the quality manufacturers from India. I named them indigenous manufacturers. The indigenous manufacturers manufacture the molecules or the contents, tablets or maybe syrups, which are definitely consumed in India, and the share of their sale is vast. It's in billions. I don't have a figure right now, but it is definitely in billions. I'm talking about indigenous. But with the change in the pharmaceutical industry, where there is a need of latest molecules, the gap has been bridged up by the overseas players by giving their technical know-how. So technical know-how is given by them, and the manufacturing processes have been started in India itself, and the products are available. Some of you, if you are diabetic, you must have come across there is one pharmaceutical preparation, we metformin 500 for diabetes, especially US vitamin, USV. There is company named as USV, having a joint venture with Indian counterpart. That company produces and provides the medicine to the needy. Likewise, there are many other companies also. I'm taking only one example. So pharmaceutical, that is one part. So it's growing. The rate of growth of pharmaceutical industry in India, as it is required, has been consistently increased. Gone are the days I myself was teaching in business environment. The year-on-year growth was more than 3%, but the growth now is beyond 5%. Beyond 5%. Is there any reason the project is changed? This screen is changed. Am I audible to you? I forgot to mention. Please give me feedback.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Audible, sir.
So the third sector, I'm still into two parts of my speech. The first part is Advantage India, and the second part, which I have not started yet, which I'll start in the next session after this session.